just other matters. Yeah, I'm not too sure what we want to do. Resolution, just think about that.
Don't forget to put the mics down.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Call this meeting to order.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Recording of the roll, please.
All present.
Item C, approval of the consent agenda.
Madam Mayor, I have one change under the second motion in the minutes under item H to remove the parent if funding is available for Florence Street.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda with the amended changes.
Support.
Motion by Commissioner Towers, seconded by Commissioner Mildren to approve the consent agenda as presented with amendments. Excuse me. Roll call vote, please.
Mildren?
Yes.
Semo?
Yes.
Tower?
Yes.
Corcoran?
Yes.
Burchell?
Yes. Item D, approval of the agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Corcoran, seconded by Commissioner Semo to approve the agenda as presented. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item E, receive and place on file, 1, the statement of revenue and expenditures, and 2, the monthly cash report.
It's not working. It's not batteries. Okay, well, I guess I'll just talk loudly.
Okay.
Today I'm reporting on the financials for the month of June. This is our fiscal year end. Expenditures expected to be 100%. Of course, just to make a note right now, we are still receiving invoices and will continue to receive invoices for services that were provided in the month of June, so there will still be some posting back to June for expenses, as well as some revenues. I'll touch on those here in a little bit. With the first page, the second page of the revenue and expenditure report for the general fund, it's on the screen there, but hopefully you all have it in your packets.
Yeah, it's not. I'll get it.
But at the month of June, at the month end, we were showing a positive 53,000 as far as revenues over expenditures. Just some items to note: revenue sharing of about $120,000 for the month of May and June won't be received until the end of August, so we'll post that back to this fiscal year once we receive them. And then we did use some fund balance. You know, I've been mentioning this every month here, but the fire truck that we purchased in the Western Gateway Trail project, we used fund balance for those. $100,000 for the fire truck and $130,000 for the Western Gateway Trail project. So we're showing with those will be about $400,000 on the plus side of things. Now again, we'll have some expenditures coming in, so that plus will go down a little bit, but overall, fiscal year end, general fund in good shape. For the major street, again, we were budgeted to use $67,000 of fund balance on Hemlock Street Mill and Overlay project. We may not have to dip in for a fund balance to that extent with what the expenditures are showing so far. Again, we do have some expenditures to post for different things. But one thing that's not posted as far as the revenue side is about $35,000 Act 51 for June, which we will receive here probably early to mid-August. So we'll post that back to the fiscal year as well. And the same thing goes for the local street. The Act 51 get about $13,000 on the local street side of it for June, which we'll receive here coming up in August. So as far as the fund reports, revenue and expenditure reports for the other funds. I don't have anything major to report, so unless there are any questions, I can answer those now. If not, I'll move right into the cash balances report. And just note that all of our cash balances at the fiscal year end are healthy, no major concerns. If there's any questions, I can answer them now.
I'll make a motion, we receive and place on file the statement of revenue and expenditures and the monthly cash report.
Support.
Motion by Commissioner Semo, seconded by Commissioner Corcoran, to receive and place on file the statement of revenue and expenditures and the monthly cash report. Further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item F, approval of the monthly check register report.
And the monthly check register report for the month of June was also included in the packet. And if there are any questions on any items, I can address them now.
Other than to say I really like the format that we've been using. And it should eliminate most questions people would have.
It seems to, yes.
I'll make a motion, we receive and place on file, we approve rather, the monthly check register report.
Support.
Motion by Commissioner Semo, seconded by Commissioner Corcoran, to approve the monthly check register report. Further discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Semo?
Yes.
Tower?
Yes.
Corcoran?
Yes.
Mildred?
Yes.
Birchall?
Yes. Item G, citizens wishing to address the commission on items on the agenda with a 3-minute limit per speaker. We ask if you come to the podium. Microphone's not working apparently, but please state your name and physical address. Thank you. Okay. You can place it right inside the stand, and then you can adjust it to your height, please. There you go.
You want this one, Connie? I'll leave it right here. I'm not a rock star, I don't know.
Okay, thank you.
My name is Michelle Kennedy. I live at 312 East Oak Street. I just want to start off by saying thank you for entertaining our issues. Your board's been outstanding. There's been several people out to the property, as well as the mayor herself. I want to really thank you for wholeheartedly entertaining this issue, as well as Connie and Dennis Hewitt. Your professionalism has been outstanding. I appreciate that. We've had, as I said, several people out to the property, including on Thursday. There was a parking issue which Officer DeGiorgio, or Chief DeGiorgio, and another officer were called to the scene. We were able to speak firsthand about some of the issues that were going on, and I was able to point out some of my issues, some of the same things we spoke about as we spoke about this afternoon. After that, Sergeant Clemens came out and had spoken with the neighbors. I don't know what happened, but she in turn moved her truck a little back and off the grass area in between the sidewalk. And my issue is that it's contingent upon whether or not we irritate her, as she stated to the officer, that she would put it right back where it was. You know, my issue is not so much with the driveway itself. I'm really not trying to be, difficult or cause any extra problems. I'm really not trying to irritate you. However, her having said that concerns us. We're trying to maintain the side of our property. We're still trying to paint, and so this third lot that we have still needs work. There still needs to be gravel dumped. There's still dirt. We still have to put scaffolding up and finish painting the last side of this house. So a driveway in turn would secure our ableness to be able to get the AY truck in there, the scaffolding and all that. However, her removing her truck would solve a lot of the parking issues. As I said before, this truck, it never moves. There is one less parking space because of this truck. I don't have a problem with people parking in front of my property because we know that eventually they're going to get in their car and leave. So, again, one way to secure our being able to get in and maintain this property, which, if I could just add a little side note, the insurance is really having a problem with. I'm not sure if you want to address the code issue, perhaps 3-5 days of parking one vehicle in one spot, moving it, or the driveway, I guess would be up to you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. To this lady first.
My name is Roxanne Harmon. I live at 320 East Oak Street.
What's your last name again?
Harmon,
Harmon.
yeah. Putting the what is it called? Proposed driveway in causes a big issue up there with the dead end and the parking. We're very limited. And wintertime's coming and it's going to cause more of an issue with the plowing and the blocking in of all the vehicles with the snow. That's what we're trying to eliminate, because we are all squeezed in. We have lots of family, friends. I've got county government cars that come up there to visit 3 days a week, and we're still limited in the parking. We park back, where you saw where my truck was. Everybody parks back there. We don't park up front because it makes too much of an issue for everybody. So we just stay in the back. But in the wintertime, it's really going to be a problem. Thank you for your time.
Sir?
Hi, I'm George Kennedy. I live at 312 East Oak Street. I'm the husband of Michelle. I'd just like to say, we're asking permission to remove the tree lamp, backfill, and put it in, but I don't live there. The other issue I'd like to address is, it's not that tight on parking. As a matter of fact, Mr. Pisco is allowed to park in the vacationers who live at the end of Oak Street. There's a driveway that's open, and there's a slot next to that people freely park in, that nobody has a problem with. And Pisco's old home, they have friends that park there. The neighbors next to us have a driveway. Next to them have a driveway. So there are driveways, and it is not only accessible, or it's fine for most of the time for people to park anywhere along there. It's when they have excessive company, then it starts back up. But that fluctuates. So to keep her spot open in front of her home, she parks in front of our driveway, our driveway we'd like to have. So I'm asking you to get permission to have this driveway so I can access it in and out 24 hour or 20 year round. And my daughter's going to park there because we have 2 other vehicles in my driveway. And that is all. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other citizens wishing to address the commission on items on the agenda? Yes?
Good evening, everybody. My name is Cheryl Brakowski. I live at 324 East Oak Street. It's been my family home for 42 years. I don't have a driveway per se. I have what is called a ramp, which my dad put in when we first moved there because we didn't have a driveway, and it was easier for us to park there. The house at the end, yes, they have a driveway. Yes, they are allowed to park across the street in Mr. Howell Smith's home, who only comes up to cut grass. He goes back down in the summertime. In the wintertime, he comes up for ski patrol, then they have to park in their driveway. It's always been a precarious situation with the parking up there. And I feel that if you allow this driveway to happen, it will cause a bigger issue, not because I have a lot of friends coming over to visit, because I don't. And my son's girlfriend for the most part. But I do have daughters who live in Baltimore. And if they were to come up to visit me, they each have a car. Where would they park? Or would I have to worry about going out, looking, seeing a police car, a tow truck, for them being towed from a place that they don't have to be towed from? It truly concerns me. There's been, I say that to say, Ms. Harma does not have a driveway. There has never been a driveway there. And if you go up there, you see it. It's a drop-off property. The woman that lived there, Dorothy Thede, before she passed away, that is where she parked her car, summer and winter. She parked there. There was never an issue with anybody. Everybody's always gotten along. You give and take because you have to, with the way Ms. Burchell's seen how the dead end is. It's not easy, but we try to compromise. Compromise is a big issue. It's hard to compromise on your own. you need, it's a two-way street. And I thank you for your time and appreciate you listening. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes? Just.
Good evening, Bernadette Hicks, 317 East Oak Street. First of all, I wanted to thank you, the board, the police department, and all interested parties for doing your due diligence on this matter. Through this experience, I found quite a lot out about how things are done in Ironwood, as well as what rules pertain to snow and not snow, and moving things and not moving things. And in fact, I've learned more than I ever thought I would need to. Through the process, I also found out that through the gentleman, the police officer, explained to me that he has the ability to make exceptions, arbitrarily make exceptions when he feels that should be done. Exceptions are usually something that happens extremely rarely. That's why they're exceptions. If they were a good rule, they would be changed into a rule or a law. But I found it really hard to understand in my discussion with him the number of exceptions that this particular property that's in question enjoys. Parking in front of fire hydrants, parking on the street when there's snow trucks coming by. I don't understand all these exceptions. You have one exception maybe, but not multiple. But they were so kind as to move their truck back a little bit, which does give the Kennedys access somewhat to their property. When the truck is pulled up in front of there, they have no access. When the truck is pulled back, they have access. There again, though, this was told to me by the police officer that this is arbitrarily based on their feelings about how things are going, whether they're going to move the truck up or back to keep these people from using their property. I don't understand it. Maybe somebody will explain it to me someday, but I just know that wherever I have been when there has been properties with multiple stacks of police reports, they're usually labeled nuisance properties, and they're often not given exceptions because of that. But that's not my affair. So thank you very much. I appreciate your due diligence, and I hope that you make a fair decision in this place. Okay?
Thank you. Ms. Graham?
Yes, I'm Dorothy Anderson. I grew up in that house, and I've been friends with Nina for many years, not many years, but ever since I've met her, it was like 5 years ago, before my brother died. And it has been nothing but chaos with parking. No matter who comes over there, it's always a cop being called. And we've always parked on the street. We've never parked in front of their house. And it's heartbreaking to be on pins and needles constantly. Thank you.
What was your address, Ms. Anderson? It's okay. 110 West Oak. Thank you. No, I don't believe so. No. Any other citizens wishing to address the commission on items? Yes, Paul.
Are you done with the parking?
Any other issue? Okay.
Yes, Paul Grabovich, 1221 East Leonard, and it was something on the change with the consent agenda. What exactly was that again? Could Karen read it, please?
We just removed the second part of the motion. There was in parentheses, it says if funding is available for Florence Street, and that is not the case. It's supposed to be funded.
So Florence Street is going to be done. Okay, good. And one other thing, another problem with that project over there is the grass. And I see there's on P for rural development, for what's allotted for the 73,000, whatever it is. And before they get another dime out of that project, that grass should be starting to grow. I tried cutting grass today, and as wet as it's been, the rain has been, and as bad as it's been, the weather's good for growing grass, and the stuff's not growing. I mean, it's a mess over there. It's disgusting. And I even seeded and fertilized this spring. I went out to store for us, I told Ron what's going on, and he gave me the stuff. He said, try this. And it's not growing. I mean, it's just junky soil. And before they get another cent, they should fix that whole neighborhood over there, because it's a mess. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other citizens wishing to address on items on the agenda? None. Moving on to citizens wishing to address to the commission on items not on the agenda. Yes.
Yeah, Paul Grabovich again, 1221 East Leonard. And the thing is that Michael Braun is leaving, and now the city commission can do the right thing. It's not to fill that, it's to get rid of that community development department totally. And you can start paying off these loans with that money that you're going to save. I mean, what's the budget of that department? $150,000, $160,000 a year? That's a lot of money. And you can't go and ask the taxpayer for any more money because they don't have it. I volunteer at St. Vincent de Paul Food Pantry. And during the month of May only, there was 500 different families that walked through those doors. That's different families with Ironwood addresses. That's how bad things are around here. Things are bad, and you cannot, everybody and your brother is on this millage. You look at your tax statement, and you ask the people from the city for 2 meals to fix these streets. This money that you could save at not opening the community development department, you could pay that loan off. Pay it off quicker, then give the money back to the people. It's the people's money. It's not the city's money. It's the people, the taxpayers' money. And what else? With that project over there at the Little League field, that's a mess over there. I mean, how many thousands of dollars is that going to cost us, cost the taxpayer? And Scott Erickson should be held responsible for that because, like, remember Harry Truman says, the buck stops here? Scott Erickson's supposed to make sure that stuff is done right, and he didn't. He should be held responsible. He approved.
Any other comments?
Yes, he approved the plan for Florence Street. And what I'm getting at with Scott is that $10,000 out of his $90,000 a year salary for being an engineer, that should be taken away because of those 2 projects. He should have to pay for that stuff. Florence Street is a mess. The taxpayers should not have to pay for that.
Okay.
They should not have to pay for the Little League field, and they should not have to pay for Florence Street. And it's a total mess.
Thank you.
Because Scott approved, is my time up?
No. Go ahead.
And another thing is, we always hold back 10% from the contractors on these major projects. And why don't you hold back 10% from the engineers on these major projects? Why are they exempt on this too? I mean, people make mistakes. There are going to be mistakes made. These are very serious major projects, millions of dollars in these projects. People have to be held responsible, accountable for this stuff. And you try to hold the contractors accountable, you have to hold the engineers accountable too. All these people up there in Norrie, Jesseville, and Aurora location that had raw sewage in their basements. And what happened to them? I mean, they got the runaround from Scott Erickson and Coleman Engineer.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other citizens wishing to address the commission on items not on the agenda? Yes, sir. Moving on to old business. Item I, update response to the residents regarding the Oak Street parking.
All right. I'm bouncing my head off of it. So as you heard, a lot of the citizens from that area have commented on their concerns about parking for or against, and basically what I provided you with the letter, based off of the facts, we measured the road, calculated out about the approximate amount of parking spaces, and someone said we give exemptions up there. What we use is discretion. Any of you have been up there, very unique parking situation up there. It is a very limited situation, and I believe, Bob, that hydrant was added during the project, so it added some additional issues right here with this hydrant. We do allow the person that lives in this house to park closer to the hydrant than we normally allow. We have cited people that have parked in front of it, so we do cite people for parking in front of it, but we do allow for people to park closer to it. The unique situation with these two homes is there is no front driveway. It's a sloping downhill slope, so overnight winter parking, we tell them to pull as close to their house as they can without going down the hill. Does that go, for lack of better terms, violate our ordinance? Yes, they are not removed off of the roadway, but our discretion is some common sense. They have nowhere to park. We have a few communities or a few roadways in the city that have to deal with these situations. Also, too, during our investigation of these properties, if you can scroll down a little bit, other way. We learned that this is not an alleyway, it's a utility easement, Dennis, so we can't provide access for garages and stuff off of that alley. It's a utility easement. So one of the ideas was to allow people to use that to build driveways, and technically the city cannot authorize that, is my understanding, and Dennis could probably answer those questions better than I can. So basically that's what we try to do up there, provide the facts, limited parking. You know, we had denied the driveway the first time. Michael Brown and Scott sat down with the owner and came up with a solution, and one of it was expanding off of the driveway. My understanding is that solution was not something they wanted to pursue. So all the vehicles up there are licensed. They did provide us with paper certificates that they do have insurance. So I don't know if you have any other questions or concerns.
I just have a question for like the homeowner of the Kennedys. Can you give like a brief description of what you have going on in your home that would need access to that side? Do you have like construction going on, or?
Sure. And just a side note, this will only be eliminating one vehicle.
As well as ours on the street.
You cannot alter this driveway. There are large boulders on each side that we have placed there because we like that. If they have a contract to move them, and then they have a driveway in between my two lots. Now this empty lot here has been sinking because there was a home. I was able to squeeze a pickup truck within feet of Miss Roxanne's truck. So there was allegations that there was a dump truck in there. Never happened. This will eliminate one spot. They have an alley here, spotting, parking here, parking there. There's a shared driveway between Bill Pisco's home and Miss Grykowski's. This will eliminate one spot only. They can park anywhere up and down Oak Street. Now, note that she has one vehicle, she can park in front of her home. There's an allegation that Miss Amy had parked not in front of her home for years. Does that make any sense?
I guess my question was more of, do you have like a home project going on? Are you siding your house, are you filling it in, or that?
Yes, Forsons will need at one time to get several pallets of roofing materials in before the snow flies.
As well as scaffolding.
As well as I'm going to use my work truck to dump gravel to level this lot off. We've been wanting to level it off for reasons that aren't important. There's going to be a pool and whatever, just some other stuff. But this will only eliminate one spot, and we legitimately have been working on this for 3 years, long before any issues really came up when we used to get one. Sorry, it is the way it is, but...
Okay, I was just kind of curious if you had a project going on, that's all.
Yes, and I want to say earlier that this is only eliminating one spot.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So, in addition, all the cars are legally parked up there. The only time we do have some illegal parking is when we do use the discretion to allow some parking during overnight winter parking. And once again, we have a few unique areas in the community that I'll use Marquette and Curry Street area, or Mansfield Street area, very similar. Old homes didn't have garages built before people owned 2-3 cars.
So that right away in the back is not plowed in the wintertime?
No.
Why can't we make it an alley?
Why can't we make it an alley?
There's no right of way there. They'd be taking property from
It looks like an alley, but it's a utility easement that is kind of is being used.
The sewer line from all the homes running that alley. That's what's back there, the brand new sewer main.
And Dennis, could you speak to the comment about the 40% rule, about frontage, that if you have a certain amount of frontage or something, that you're entitled to have a certain amount of driveway? I'm just not familiar, or could you clarify that?
Well, there is in the ordinance where you can have up to 40% of your curb as a driveway.
One driveway, or does it matter?
It doesn't say multiple, it just says 40%.
Okay. Was the empty property that, did it have a driveway? The lot between the homes? Do you know?
I don't know.
So pretty much we're following all our ordinances right now, where people are allowed to park there. This is what the ordinances allow. We're allowed to make...
Yeah, we do allow people to park on the roadway. This is all legal parking, as long as you're not obstructing someone's driveway. Once again, we do give some discretion in the winter time with our overnight winter parking. This dead ends here, and then there's 2 driveways here, and then it circles around. It's kind of a unique part of town, just the setup. And that hydrant did add some issues, but that's why we use some discretion in allowing people to park close to that. The lady who just stepped out, she's been advised that, there could be damage to her car, and she says, I understand, you have to do what you have to do when she parks close to the hydrant, but we're just trying to create some exceptions, and discretion is what I prefer to use, allowing that, just because of the limited parking. I understand we're trying to squeeze everyone down this way. So we're using discretion in this situation. If someone has a better idea for me.
I would like to thank you for using discretion, because, it's a community that we live in, and it's nice that when the police become, if you had to become involved, that you would become involved in a way that's trying to rectify this situation, to stop this irritation between these people.
It's a difficult situation.
It is.
And we've talked to all the members that are involved up there, so we just gathered the facts and the information. Allowing the driveway is right around, we're a neutral party, so it's, we understand whatever decision the commission makes, so. I just tried to present some facts.
And you and Scott, one of your solutions was to allow them to just widen their existing driveway?
And Michael could probably touch on that. I wasn't part of that process.
Right, the first map actually showed just to the right of their driveway, a potential location that they could add additional parking. It's kind of hard to see there. Kind of outlined in blue on that map. That was an option that we came up with. That was at least a viable option. It sounds like they don't prefer that option, so it's more of a preference on their part.
So this is like a non-action item tonight?
Right.
Basically just
for the information, okay. Yeah, I support the decisions that the public safety has made. I'm glad that you're fixing up your property. I would just hope that they're allowed to get in and out of their property to continue fixing it up.
I think that it's possible to allow temporary, you can do a temporary traffic control order to restrict parking. If you have a project ongoing and you had a time frame in mind, you could a temporary traffic controller could be authorized to get trucks in and out of there, such as a no parking ordinance. Correct?
Yes. If a time frame was laid
If a
out.
time frame was laid out.
They're not, we don't like to do the non-expiring temporary traffic controllers. The longest they typically can be is 90 days. And for parking, I like to keep it under 30 days. Stop signs and other types of signs, I understand they're 90 days because of road projects. But parking, we try to really restrict.
Excuse me, well, we need to park our vehicle when they're year-round, this is a temporary, I need several purposes for this entranceway.
No, use this.
I'm just saying that if you had a project,
Yeah, I have a whole project and a vehicle to park there now.
Which in turn, if I could, I'm sorry, would create more parking if we could park our vehicles off the street. That'll open up more parking.
Yeah, that's true, because right now my daughter parks her Blazer on the street.
As well as to company.
So the Blazer, in our lot, I would allow one parking space. So in a way, you're losing a space, in a way, you're gaining a space.
And there, it's not that we don't want to accommodate the widening of the driveway. There are 1,500-pound boulders on either side, which...
And we don't have to call the police every time
Yeah.
to get access to our driveway.
And with all due respect, there has been an option presented that would allow you to expand your parking as well if you did it on, adjacent to your driveway. That's your choice, of course.
How it's possible. It's sloped down.
No, it's not slope, it's in between the home
Well.
and the garage.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, did you want to say something, Rick?
Well, I think we've talked about this enough.
Yeah.
And we're not taking action. And as far as I'm concerned, public safety is dealing with this, and I personally feel that this is where it should stay. The ordinances spell out the certain amount of discretion, and I appreciate that. It's a no-win situation, it sounds like, especially for the people who are, where the truck is, there's literally nowhere to park. And I feel that you're dealing with it in a fair way and appreciate your efforts.
Yes. It is a highly unique cul-de-sac with a high concentration of houses, which is very unusual. And
I would hope we could look into creating an alley back there. I assume it's probably a difficult process, but we could at least look into it.
we should explore that, I agree. Thank you. And thank you all for coming to express your concern. Moving on to new business, discuss and consider approving payment number 5 to Green Bay Pipe and TV in the amount of $90,880.74 for the televising water and sewer lines through the SAW grant. Is Paul speaking to this?
Your name's on the list.
You called me, I can. Green Bay Pipe and TV has been in town and doing some more work with the SAW grant, so this is merely getting them paid for their services since the last payment.
Okay.
This is 100% grant funding, isn't it?
That's correct.
How far are they through the project, Paul, do you know? Sorry.
I'm not positive.
80% complete with the televising that's scheduled.
Are they going to finish it this year?
Yes.
I'll make a motion, we approve the payment described in item J.
Support.
Motion by Commissioner Semo, seconded by Commissioner Mildren to approve the payment as described in item J. Further discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Howard?
Yes.
Corcoran?
Yes.
Mildred?
Yes.
Sebo?
Yes.
Marshall?
Yes. Item K, discuss and consider approving pay estimate number 4 in the amount of $19,812.06 to Angela Lupino for the local street paving project.
I guess I'll take this one as well. Again, just another pay estimate as we're going through the project, getting up with expenses incurred to date. I believe there's still a 5% retainage being held as well.
I'll make a motion, we approve the pay estimate described in item K.
Support.
Motion by Commissioner Semo, seconded by Commissioner Corcoran to approve the pay estimate package payment as described in...
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
To approve the pay estimate as described in item K.
Why is it called an estimate?
Yeah.
I don't know.
What are we approving?
You call it pay package, pay estimate, I guess they're used interchangeably. I mean, the estimate probably comes from the contractor and Scott sitting down and doing an estimate of the material used in the project so far. But pay application, pay estimate, used interchangeably.
Isn't it true there's a total price to the paving? And then, because it's done as payments, each one could be an estimate up until the final one?
Yeah, and the prices are based on unit cost, so as they go through the project, they estimate the units used for each of the items there. Now, if it comes to the end of the project and we've used less, again, we would do a change order to eliminate some of that. So the price isn't necessarily set in stone. Of course, they bid, but they bid on each item separately. So we're actually going to pay them for actual items, materials used on the project.
Use the word package so we don't put in what, no, I'm just kidding. But the amount is specified, and that's my motion, so.
Yes.
Any other discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Yes.
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 Yes. Item L, discuss and consider approving resolution number 016-015, dedicating right-of-way in the city of Ironwood.
All right, thank you. The next two items are related. They're related to the Aurora land project, the Aurora Assessor's Plat. The first item, there are a number of roadways that are required to be dedicated. They aren't actually dedicated currently. So before the plat can be approved and per state requirements, these roads have to be dedicated. So that is what this item is for. And the second item is the actual plat of the Aurora lands area.
And these are just basically housekeeping, and this is a housekeeping.
Correct.
Required by the state.
Yes.
Just to fill in the blanks for you guys.
Thank you.
I'll make a motion, we approve resolution 016-015 as described in item L.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Corcoran, seconded by Commissioner Toller to approve resolution number 016-015 as described in item L. Further discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Mildred.
Yes.
Sebo.
Yes.
Sauer.
Yes.
Corcoran.
Yes.
Virgil.
Yes. Discuss and consider approving resolution number 016-016, Assessor's Plat of Aurora Lands.
And again, this is a project that's you authorized last summer, about a year ago, and had been talked about for the last couple of years. So it really comes down to platting out the lots in the Aurora Lands subdivision. Right now, it's one big lot owned by basically an association. The homeowners own their homes, but they don't own the land that the homes sit on. This will actually dedicate the lots to those homeowners, and everyone out there will actually own the land that their house sits on, which will clear up a lot of problems and issues that both the homeowners and the city have in that neighborhood.
I'll make a motion, we approve resolution 016-016 as described in item M.
Support.
Motion by Commissioner Corcoran, seconded by Commissioner Mildren to approve resolution number 016-016 as described in item M. Further discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Sebo.
Yes.
Sauer.
Yes.
Corcoran.
Yes.
Mildred.
Yes.
Virgil.
Yes. Item N, discuss and consider resolution number 016-017, a resolution for adopting MERS of Michigan Defined Benefit Plan, new general division, posted July 1st, 2016.
Thank you. With the recent changes made for new hires after July 1st in regards to their pension, increasing the employee contribution from 4.77% to 6%. As the administrator of our pension, MERS requires a resolution be adopted by the City Commission to make those changes effective. And that's essentially what this resolution is doing, is creating that separate division to track new employees that are hired.
I'll make a motion, we approve resolution 016-017 as described in item N.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Corcoran, seconded by Commissioner Semo to approve resolution number 016-017 as described in item N. Further discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Tower.
Yes.
Corcoran.
Yes.
Mildred.
Yes.
Seymour.
Yes.
Virgil.
Yes. Item O, discuss and consider final payment in the amount of $1,866.15 to Lindquist Electric for the Curry Park project.
Thank you. And this payment is just that. It's a final to Linquist, and the project is complete. And so
I would make that motion to make the final payment in the amount of $1,866.15 to Lindquist Electric.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Mildren, seconded by Commissioner Semo to authorize the final payment in the amount of $1,866.15 to Lindquist Electric. Discussion? I would just like to comment that I got a telephone call today from an alumnus of Ironwood who came home for a reunion and stayed at the park and was pleasantly surprised and wanted to thank the commission and the community for working hard to upgrade the park. He was pleasantly surprised and really enjoyed it, though. Thank you. Roll call vote, please.
Corcoran.
Yes.
Mildred.
Yes.
Seymour.
Yes.
Tower.
Yes.
Virgil.
Yes. Item P, consider approval of rural development pay package in the amount of $73,857.08 for the City of Ironwood Phase 3 Utility Project Sewer portion, and authorize the mayor to sign all applicable docs.
Good evening. This is pay packet, I forget, probably 20 or 22 or so for the various contractors. This particular one is to Rutzela Construction. As we've discussed in the past, you have a certain amount of retainage, $37,540 of retainage that remain that you have over their heads to take care of any problems as you see fit. There is no, because the restoration predominantly lies in the sewer fund, and this represents basically the paving by Lapino in the Nori area this spring. That's why there's no water portion to this packet. I'd be happy to answer any questions if I could.
I'll make the motion to approve the rural development pay package as described for $73,857.08 for Phase 3 Utility Project Sewer, and authorize the mayor to sign.
Support.
Motion by Commissioner Mildren, seconded by Commissioner Corcoran to approve rural development pay package in the amount of $73,857.08 for the Phase 3 Utility Project Sewer portion, and authorize the mayor to sign all documents. Further discussion?
Mike, could you again clarify what's left in the total budget? What's hanging out there?
Under the contract, you have $37,540 to pay at least. Retainage.
Roll call vote, please.
Mildred.
Yes.
Seymour.
Yes.
Tower.
Yes.
Corcoran.
Yes.
Virgil.
Yes. Item Q, discuss and consider approval of mutual aid agreement with the City of Hurley Police Department.
Okay, this is more of a formality. Each year we sign the agreement with Hurley. We just sped up the process this year. They have a new chief, Chris Kawasako. Mr. Spumrad retired from Hurley, so basically it's our mutual aid agreement so that we can assist them when they would require our services and vice versa. If we needed their assistance, they can cross the river and come assist us when needed. So a little bit different. We have different arrangements with sheriff's departments. It's through a deputization. With city police departments, we sign agreements and then file them with the state.
And this is something we've been doing for some time now.
We've been doing this for many, many years, and this is a great thing. It's communities working together, and it just protects each party involved, basically.
And remind, what's the length of this agreement, the term?
Excuse me?
The length of the agreement?
Typically, we've been going every 3 years.
3 years, okay.
But due to the fact that Mr. Earthspalmer had retired from Hurley, we wanted to renew the agreement with the new chief.
Okay.
Just pleased to say that you guys work with each other across borders and protect each other and look out for one another, so good idea.
Yep.
I'll make the motion to approve the mutual aid agreement.
I'll support.
Motion by Commissioner Towers, seconded by Commissioner Corcoran to approve the mutual aid agreement. Any further discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Seymour.
Yes.
Tower.
Yes.
Corcoran.
Yes.
Mildred.
Yes.
Virgil.
Yes. Item R, discuss and consider authorizing advertisement to bid for 1,500 tons of street sand.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Tower, seconded by Commissioner Semo to authorize advertisement to bid for the 1,500 tons of street sand. Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item S, discuss and consider authorizing advertisement to bid for 4,000 cubic yards of 22A gravel.
Make that motion as well.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Tower, second by Commissioner Semo to authorize advertisement to bid for 4,000 cubic yards of 22A gravel. Further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Manager's report.
I have two items. One that the city of Ironwood would like to invite everybody to join us from 10 to noon on Wednesday, July 27th in the Women's Club Room at the Memorial Building to thank Community Development Director Michael Brown for his efforts, enthusiasm, and for all of the public improvements he has accomplished to help make Ironwood a better place. So please join us on Wednesday, July 27th. Also, I'd like to tell you that the city clerk's office will be open from Saturday from 10 to 2 for any registered voters who would not be able to attend the primary election coming up on Tuesday, August 2nd. So those are for absentee voter ballots on Saturday. And that's all.
Thank you. Moving on to other matters.
I have a couple comments. I will not be able to attend on the 27th, but thank you, Michael, for everything that you've done for the city. You've been a great asset, and I think you've done a lot for us, and I wish you well in your future endeavors. And just a note too, Festival of Ironwood seemed to go off without a hitch again. Very nice to get people around, so big thanks to the volunteers out there. I did spend a little time at one of the booths selling or just talking about our new brand, and I did receive a lot of nice comments about our brand when we talk about where we're going, finding our north, finding our passion, and describing the colors and what we chose and why we chose, and I did get a lot of nice feedback on that, so just wanted to comment on that.
Thank you.
Sure, and I would also like to add that over the past 3 years, myself, representing the city of Ironwood at times and representing Ogibic County at times, I'm a member of the Governor's Prosperity Task Force, and we meet monthly in Houghton, and Michael Brown has been a member of that task force also. So between him and I, and some of the other people out at the Jim Lawrence and at the college, the intermediate school district, we represent our area and try to bring as much as we can this way, particularly grants, money, infrastructure improvements. Michael has done a great job at that. And at our last meeting, because the important thing to know about the Governor's Prosperity Task Force is now that DHHS is headquartered in Houghton, Michigan Works is no longer here, the Governor's office is in Marquette, we're out of the loop. And so between him and I and Jim Lawrence, we're able to keep our town in the loop. And so at the end of the last meeting, I mentioned Michael Brown and the great job he has done. And I also mentioned the fact that I invited all of those people that represent government in Upper Michigan to come to Ironwood and see our upgraded streets and our upgraded water and sewer, our trails, our parks. And at those meetings, a governor's representative sits in, or the governor sits in sometimes on the video conferencing, and the heads of all the departments sit there. And one of the overwhelming facts that came out was that Ironwood, which because of our declining population, losing some things, hasn't been at the forefront, is now at the forefront. And particularly, the manager of the city of Hancock, who is a longtime manager and a great manager, said that our manager, Scott Erickson, is at the forefront of all of these things. And when the city of Hancock looks at what's new and what's going on, they look at some of our projects and say, good for them, and they follow suit. That's a big change. It's very nice. So the same thing was said by the manager of the city of Houghton, and I was proud to be there representing Ironwood, proud to have Michael there with us, and this town continues to move forward in leaps and bounds, and we're setting an example with the fine people that work for this town to our other communities across the UP. So proud of you all, and really, really happy to hear the comments about our city manager and Michael in particular. So, and Michael, yeah, great job, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Jim.
Continuing in that same vein, because we will get another chance, I'd like to also thank Michael. And he has spearheaded numerous efforts for the city. We've gotten hundreds of thousands of dollars in grants. He led the city's effort in the comprehensive plan. Turned out to be a great comprehensive plan. We get praised for our plan. People want to copy it, emulate it all the time. And implementing the plan, Michael has shown us how that can be done as well. So we're going to really miss you, Michael. I'd like to make a motion, actually, that we formally thank Michael for his efforts on behalf of the city of Ironwood.
Support.
Motion by Commissioner Semo, seconded by Commissioner Mildren, to formally thank Michael Brown for his efforts and good deeds. Thank you for our city of Ironwood. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, Michael.
Michael, I'll say ditto. And I will also ask your blessing to be off for the August 22nd meeting.
I'll make a motion, we excuse Commissioner Tower from the August 22nd meeting.
Support.
Motion by Commissioner Semo, seconded by Commissioner Corcoran, to excuse Commissioner Tower from the August 22nd meeting. All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Thank you.
You're welcome. And Michael, thank you so much for your service. It's been a pleasure to work with you. And people don't often see the quiet work that happens behind the scenes, and that a lot of the improvements in the city have been accomplished through funds significantly funded by non-city resources and finances, and in order to apply for those monies and to report on those monies takes a tremendous amount of work, and it takes manpower in order to accomplish those wonderful things, and it takes manpower and a wonderful department like the Community Development Office to forward think, lead the different committees with the city, do that hard work, and there's just so many different aspects that I know that you're involved with. So thank you very much. We wish you most success to you and your family, personally and professionally, as you move on. But always remember that you're welcome here in Ironwood. Motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Everybody. I know you.
You said